What's up, nerds? We are your hosts. I am Jake.
And I'm Chad.
This week we are sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
We are also sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
This week we are going to talk a little bit more about the new episode. Not a little bit more about because we haven't talked about it at all, but we are going to talk about the new episode of She-Hulk now streaming on Disney Plus.
We'll also be talking about the new episode of House of the Dragon on HBO Max. So, let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast. Nerd.
Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Chadley,
Yes,
how was
Jakey.
how was your week? How was your week? I realize I skipped a part, but we'll get to it.
Oh, it's all good. My week was fine. Went over to your house on Friday for some vegan juicy Lucy's that were just incredible and also
Better
fucking
than
huge.
expected, for
Yeah.
sure.
Most definitely. But they're also like the size of a grown man's head.
Yeah, yeah. For any vegans listening, vegan meat does not shrink like actual meat. Um,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It stays that size. So we had massive vegan Juicy Lucy's. It was really good though.
It made 2 meals for me, so
Yeah.
it was worth it.
I was like, these aren't getting any smaller. What should I do? You
Yeah.
guys are like, I don't
Luckily the pretzel buns were also massive.
know.
So
Yeah.
like the burger only hung off a little,
Yeah.
but
But the patty was like,
oh, it was easily like a half pound of food just in the patty each.
yeah. I mean, it was great. Like you
It was
said,
delicious.
made 2 meals, so it was great.
Yeah. What about you? How
What
was
else?
your week?
My week was fine. We went to the state fair on Sunday. Sunday? Sunday.
Sunday. Oh, you froze. No.
The next day.
You
You know.
froze. So you went on Sunday, then what?
Oh, we went to this
You froze.
PC
Yeah, you're fine
right
now.
now. Okay, it
Yeah.
says on the screen that something weird was happening, but anyways, we went to the state fair on Sunday, which, you sweat, you drink, you eat, you feel like shit the next day. You spend a shit ton of money,
Yeah.
but it was fun. I think it was only Nicole's second time ever being there. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I love the state fair.
Yeah.
Haven't
It
haven't
was
been
it
a while,
was a
but
lot. It was like an overwhelming amount of people there.
that's one of the reasons why I haven't gone in a long time. And then COVID happened, and I was like, okay, well, I don't need to be around that large group of people.
We do want to say a couple things before we get into the actual episode. One of
Yeah.
them being, I'm going to say the DC one because that's my thing.
Okay.
You could do that. But as of right now, what we know after the Flash movie, we kind of speculated a little bit about it last week that they were in talks with doing Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck reprising their roles as the leads heading the Justice League and DC universe. Now it's being rumored that they both have signed on to a 10-year contract to head these movies. So, I mean, I don't know if it's true. It's all rumored. There's no confirmations on any of that. But I fucking love this.
Yeah. I love this. I would love it more if it was like not an exclusive contract, because I do want to see Henry Cavill in the MCU at some point. But
He's already signed up.
well, yeah, but we don't know if it's going to be like a one-off for season 2 of Loki, or if it's going to be like a reoccurring thing. Like if he's just going to be in one of the multiverses and that's it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I would like
I
to see
what
him
you're
more. I'd like to see him actually have a permanent role. But
saying. Yeah.
if it's just for a one-off, I'm fine with that too. If it's true that he's going to be Superman for the next 10 years,
I think
I can
that
live with that.
I think that his career in general is pretty safe, and he's going to be doing shit for a long time.
Oh yeah, not too worried about it.
Yeah,
Yeah. The other thing that we wanted to talk about before we get into the rest of the episode is uh, the Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power on Amazon Prime came out this past week. They released the first 2 episodes. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful.
that's great.
It's so good. And,
We,
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead. No, you
Oh,
go. You
I was
go.
just going to
No, you
say,
go.
so many people are like, oh, why is it so woke? And it's like, literally, if you watch it, all the things that normally people are saying make things woke don't exist in the show. It's just that there's diversity. So the people that say it's too woke, they're really just saying that they're racist. So don't
Yeah,
listen to them. Cool?
yeah.
Cool. Glad we got
And
that
don't
over.
listen to us if you're one of those people. You can fuck right off.
Yeah. Uh, all of the way off.
Yeah.
Just
Um, I was gonna say, we do know that this is a huge thing, and we are gonna dive into it. Unfortunately, we are a little short on time today because we have something else nerdy going on at about 7:30. Um, so we are just gonna talk about She-Hulk and um, House of the Dragon today. We will tackle Lord of the Rings next week, we promise.
yeah.
So go watch it. You have your time. By then,
You'll
it'll
have
be
3 episodes.
episodes in.
So
Go
you
watch it.
got it.
Come listen. Yeah. Today, She-Hulk, House of the Dragon.
Perfect. But before we get into She-Hulk, let's get the first sponsor in there, which, as you all know, it's Ray's Energy Drinks. We've been talking about it forever.
Old habanero, garlic.
Delicious, delicious. Goes on practically anything. Uh, no, great energy drink. Great other products also. If that's not your thing, you want some supplements or anything like that, listen up, learn how to save 15% or get a free sample pack for just the cost of shipping. Listen up, we'll be right back with you. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with zero crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their Refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
All right, friends. She-Hulk now streaming on Disney Plus. Before we get started or before we dive into this, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen this newest episode or any of the episodes, first of all, go watch it and come back and listen to us be dumb about it. So, uh, the first thing to note is our Daredevil watch. No Daredevil as of now.
See, it's bothering me because when he was confirmed to be in the show, I was like, when does he show up? So I looked on IMDb and it said that he was in 8 of the episodes and there was 9. And I looked that up after the first episode. I was like, oh, we get him next week. He's going to be there forever. Didn't show up the next week. So then I looked again and then it said 7 weeks. And then after this week, I looked again and it says 6. And I was like, motherfuckers!
Oh, yeah, shysters.
Yeah.
You goddamn shysters! Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I am enjoying the show.
I
regardless
like it.
that Daredevil's not in it. I do realize that it's not about Daredevil, and it is a awesome female lead,
Yeah.
and that I don't know, you go. I was
Pe-
trailing on
People
there.
are being really dumb about it,
Yeah, that's where I was going with it.
and
I was yeah.
we'll get into a specific aspect of it in a little bit. But just people are just talking mad shit about it. Like,
You
oh,
know
it's
what?
not a superhero show. It's like, no, it's called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. It's about
Yeah.
her being a lawyer as She-Hulk, and they're taking the approach that Brooklyn Nine-Nine did. That's a cop show, but it's goofy as hell. Not a lot of it is based on like actual police work, but like the dynamics of a precinct.
You know what's crazy, and I didn't think about it till just now, is She-Hulk, House of the Dragon, and even though we're not talking about it today, we did mention it. Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, are all female lead roles.
And
So
they're all awesome female lead roles.
yes, yes, because we have bashed some female lead roles in the past, and it wasn't because we didn't want them to be good. It was because
Because
they
they
were just done really bad.
Yeah, they're written poorly, and most of the time, those poorly written female leads were written by men.
Yeah.
So,
But these are all amazing
yeah,
female lead characters, and yeah, just go watch it, all of it.
yeah,
Anyways, back
all
to
of
She-Hulk.
it. We kind of get a side story in this one where,
Oh, hi, Katie.
oh yeah, there's my dog. She's
Just
frustrated.
looking confused as fuck in the corner of your
Yeah, get out of here, goof.
screen.
No, that means she's gonna come up to me now instead. Yep. Um, anyway, so there's a side story in this where basically one of Jennifer Walters' old coworkers from the DA's office is suing an Asgardian shape-shifting elf because she tricked him into spending like $150,000 because she was impersonating Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
And this dude is so conceited that he was like, I really thought it was Megan Thee Stallion.
But you can't blame the guy. I mean, she was Megan Thee Stallion. It wasn't like somebody who was like, "Hey, I'm Megan Thee Stallion," that kind of looked like Megan Thee Stallion, the
Oh,
Stallion,
yeah.
sorry. And then you're like, I think that's her. Yeah, okay, I'm dating Megan Thee Stallion. It was a shapeshifter who literally impersonated Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, but there was a couple of things that, like, he bought her a car, and it was like a Volkswagen Jetta.
Yeah.
Like, why would Megan Thee Stallion be driving a Jetta? They even
Who
said
knows?
that in the
Who
show.
knows? Famous people do weird shit all the time. All the time.
I
I
can't
do
believe you're
not.
standing up for that douche.
I'm not standing up for him. He is a total dickbag. I'm just saying, if if I was in his position, I would think that too because it looks exactly like her. Hey, like I need you to buy me this. Yeah, totally, I got you, babe. You're Megan Thee Stallion. You know,
Yeah,
like it's not his fault. He
fair
is a
enough.
total. He is a total dickbag in the show.
And
Do not get me
that's
wrong.
basically
I'm
how
not
they
standing.
proved
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he was not at fault for spending all that money. That he was actually duped because he's so arrogant and delusional and a douchebag that he was taken advantage of, and that's
yeah,
how they won the
yeah.
the case. And
And
then,
and that's also the point of the show is that they're all of the cases for She-Hulk are superpowered cases.
yeah,
Yeah, because she's the head of the. That's why she has to be She-Hulk while she does it.
yeah.
Dance monkey.
But also outside of that, like side story, which was hilarious because actually Megan Thee Stallion cameos in the episode and is like sitting in the back row of the hearing. And I was
Mhm.
like, "You thought she was me? Hell nah." It was just funny. But
Yeah.
we also get to see the actual hearing or the parole hearing for Emil Blonsky, the Abomination.
Mhm.
How does it go, Jake?
He gets off, in a couple different ways. Sorry, mom. No, he
Sorry, mom.
it goes well for him. There's a cool part where he actually, and I don't want to call it Hulk out because that's like specific to Hulk, but he hulks out.
Yeah,
Like
he
it,
changes or transforms into the Abomination.
the veiny triumphant bastard. And
Sorry. Can I do it?
and but She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters does well. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute because he kind of plays a part in it too. But
Yeah.
she gets him acquitted, and he is able to be on parole.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
And
Kind of a big
he
deal.
has to
No,
wear like an inhibitor so that he
yeah,
can't change in the future. We'll
but this is
see how.
huge, knowing that the Thunderbolts is happening.
Yeah.
So
Oh, excuse me. But
okay,
yeah, it'll be. It's also funny because like his seven like soulmates all show up to the hearing and they're just kind of like in the viewing area,
It's like a Charles Manson fucking
cult esque.
like
They're all
cultish.
dressed
Yeah,
like they're, Florence Pugh in
yeah.
Midsommar, like just chilling back there. Um, Absolutely hilarious though. One of the witnesses that they bring in is Wong,
Woo.
uh, basically to
The
corroborate
Sorcerer
that,
Supreme, if you will.
yeah, that he was responsible for Blonsky's prison break and forced him out, and then even offered just to like take him someplace safe so he can hide. And
Mm.
Emil Blonsky was like, "Nope, I have to go back to prison," and that was one of the things that helped him
Yeah,
with it also.
get off.
Yeah,
I actually have a question, or I guess not question, but I have a qualm.
a qualm.
Um, I'm curious. So in oh my God, I'm gonna lose my train of thought. In that where he is in Shang-Chi, they show that Abomination is fighting Wong, and then this they show that or Wong says that he needed to find a fighter that was worthy of him becoming the Sorcerer Supreme. But in Shang-Chi, it was very much a rigged fight. So does that mean that Wong is not actually worthy of being Sorcerer Supreme because he
No,
rigged the fight?
I think that it was Wong just went with that story to help Blonsky.
Hmm.
Uh, but I think that they were just going to the Fight Club to make money.
Yeah. I think obviously we know that Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme, so I know that we'll I just keep thinking Taco Bell every time I say Supreme. I'm just like, fuck, I want that. Uh, but I think that it was a rigged fight, and I think that that's obviously maybe what's gonna bring it back. Who knows? We'll see. Anyways, that
Yeah.
wasn't scripted. That was something I thought about a couple weeks or a week ago last or this episode a week ago. And then I was like, oh shit, I should bring that up. And then I forgot to mention it to you when we were writing the episode, and it just came back to me. So I was like, oh, I should bring that up. Anyways,
Well, thank you
hi.
for bringing it up now.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
It's rigged.
candor.
It's
Um,
rigged.
but also, we get to learn a little bit about Wong and how he's just hilarious. I mean, we all know that he's hilarious, but
Hmm.
like when he comes in for questioning before the trial with Jennifer Walters, when her paralegal tracks him down on LinkedIn, and we get to
Hmm.
see his his fucking
His
resume.
like resume. Yeah.
Sorcerer Supreme, librarian at Comertage, sales associate at Target. Like, it's fucking hilarious.
Hilarious.
Oh,
Um, we also get introduced to at towards the end of the episode. Uh, they're known as the Wrecking Crew. They are from the comics.
they
They
are
are dipshits.
D-list
Yeah,
villains. They
they're
exist to
dipshits.
get their asses kicked.
Although there is a comic book series, I wish I had written it down, where they bested the Avengers.
Was it by luck?
No, they beat the shit out of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll send maybe I'll send it to you and we can post it on the whatever. But anyways,
Yeah,
um, they are, yeah, they're dipshits. These guys are morons.
but they have
Um,
like like a glowing hard hat, a glowing like handheld
oh,
wrecking ball.
I'll give you a glowing hard hat.
Oh yes, please. It's a
Um,
nice necklace. Did you
they,
have that there a second ago?
nope.
Oh, that's gross. He's saying if I were to sperm on you. Sorry,
Um,
mom.
so there's a little bit of, I think, in the episode they say as guardian, correct?
Yeah, they
Would
ask
you
him if
steal some Asgardian tech or
construction
something like
tools.
that? Yeah. But also, there's a little bit of a fan theory that it's more like Toombs, who Michael Keaton played in the very first, or not the very first, but the first Spider-Man movie in the MCU,
Homecoming, yeah.
um, Homecoming. Yeah, that it's more stolen tech from the Jatari.
Yeah,
Did I say that right? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Rather than Asgardian. So.
I mean, it could still be as Guardian tech that's been like put into these tools by the Tinkerer.
It just kind of makes more sense that it would be like they're construction workers, as was, Toombs from Michael Keaton's
Oh,
character in
yeah.
Spider-Man. So they are construction workers. That's why they're called the Wreckers. So they probably likely stole the equipment from,
Something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
But at first, like, so they corner Jennifer Walters in an alley as she's walking down, like, in human form.
Hmm.
And she gets scared for a second, then she's like, wait. And she, like, transforms into the She Hulk.
She literally says like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
Yeah. And then just tosses these dudes around,
Hmm.
slamming heads into walls, hitting them with each other. And then at one point in time, one of the guys tries to stab her with a giant metal syringe, and it just folds.
Hmm.
And then they run off,
Like Ben.
like Ben folds. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
I was
It
like, oh, maybe I should have
it
said
took me
that
a second. It's because the reason it took me a second was because I said, and then they run off, and then you're like Ben, and I was like, but I said folds, Ben folds.
right.
Anyways,
Look
and
it up. Look it up.
yeah, if you don't know who Ben Folds 5 is, or just Ben Folds in general, you're missing out on some
Don't look
sad
up
stuff.
folding pen. That probably won't go the way you want it to.
Unless, no, I'm just kidding. But it turns out that they were hired to try and steal some of her blood.
Hmm. Her blood.
Her blood.
Her blood. Blood.
Originally, I thought it would be Thaddeus Ross, aka Mr. Thunderbolt himself,
Mhm.
but I think that that's unlikely just because of Sir. No, well, he wasn't knighted, but William Hurt passing away.
Yeah.
Um, so
It's
we'll
gonna be Val.
see. Got to be Val or what's
The leader.
the leader? Thank you. Sorry, I wanted to say
Um,
Mastermind, and I was like, that's not right.
I would fucking die in a very good way if it is. I forget his name. We should look that up. We look that up. Uh,
The same
the,
actor.
g- yeah, the actor who plays him. I feel like a dick not saying his name. Um, but the actor who helped Edward Norton's Incredible Hulk in the Incredible Hulk try to get rid of his gamma poisoning.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Tim Blake Nelson, yeah. And at the end of that movie, when Hulk freaks out and he's laying on the ground and Hulk's like blood is like dripping onto his forehead and
It was
his head starts
It
like
was
expanding.
after the start of the Abomination. It was after the
Yeah.
Abomination like forced him.
And they never did anything with that. And I would love, love, love to see him come back and be the person that is behind this attack because he knows what Hulk's blood can do. He studied it. He duplicated it to make like clones of it. I mean, you saw it in the Incredible Hulk. He was like, "This is all you, Bruce," and he had like a hallway just full of
Yeah.
Bruce's blood because Bruce had been sending him his blood to try to cure it. and instead he was duplicating it. I would love to see this guy come back. This would be
Yeah,
amazing.
I would love
Uh,
that too.
I assume it's gonna be Val just because she's recruiting like a bad team,
Yeah,
but I would love to see this instead.
the Suicide Avenger Squad.
Yeah.
So let's get to the elephant in the room, and by the elephant in the room, I mean dad ass dough.
Dad ass, no.
So many people are talking mad shit about the post-credit scene because it shows Jennifer Walters as She-Hulk twerking with Megan Thee Stallion, who is now one of her new clients.
Hmm.
The fact that people are upset about this is dumb.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, Stan Lee would be turning over in his grave." It's like, yeah, to try and twerk from the grave with She-Hulk, who he created.
Yeah. The people who are talking shit about this are like their dick doesn't pop out of the top of their like here when they try to masturbate. You're just a
Yeah.
little dick, fucking
Who's that super misogynistic dude that's like a person out?
Trump.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
But
sorry.
like the social media dude that's like everyone's been talking about.
Ted Cruz.
Probably him too, but
Oh, sorry.
Madison
I know who
Gates?
you're talking. I know who you're talking about. He's like kind of buff. I forget his name.
Yeah,
He's got a forgettable name.
he does, because unless you're a misogynistic piece of shit, like, you don't care about this dude.
Yeah.
But though his fans are the ones that are mad about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh,
It's-
this is not the MCU, and it's like, have you read a fucking She-Hulk comic? Do you know anything
you-
about like her?
Have you
at all?
seen Iron Man 2, where Tony Stark is dancing in the Iron Man suit?
And literally pisses in his suit and like makes
Yeah.
a joke about it, and everyone's like,
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter Quill.
dance off,
Dancing.
bro.
Yeah.
People thought that
Um,
was funny too. There was Baby Groot
Baby Groot.
dancing to the point where they made an entire short story spin-off of Baby Groot that starts from him being in the pot that he dances in.
Yeah.
The entire opening segment of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where he's dancing and ignoring everything going on. And let's not forget Spider-Man 3.
That one's justifiable. That was terrible.
I mean, yeah, but people aren't like comparing
Yeah.
the two. They're just saying that
Yeah.
this
And it
is
was,
like the
and it was
worst
just
thing
a
ever.
cut scene. It wasn't like part of the story.
Yeah.
That's what's so annoying about it. Like, shut the fuck up, you fragile person.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost
fine.
like these snowflakes are just like so upset about it.
Yeah.
They're offended
Gee.
by something that someone else is doing.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Especially if it's a girl.
Yeah. Yes, I intentionally called all you weak men snowflakes.
And if
to-
you're offended by that, log off. We don't want you
Yeah.
here.
If you're offended by that, try and stay cold because snowflakes melt at room temperature. Fuck. I love this show. I thought that scene was hilarious.
It was funny.
I was not expected to like see it and be like, "Do I like this? I like this," and
Did
then
you,
question myself afterwards. No, I didn't go that far.
Replay.
Rewind, replay, rewind, replay. No, it's a funny scene.
It is a funny
And
scene. Plus,
also,
like,
if you see like the behind the scenes footage of like Jennifer Walters in the motion capture suit,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
up on a
hilarious.
stage trying to like
Yeah.
dance with Megan Thee, the line at the end of that where they stop dancing and Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk gets up and like is standing face to face with Megan and is like, "I would kill for you, Megan the Stallion,"
Oh yeah.
and then she's like, "Let's tone it down."
yeah.
Like literally, that's Tatiana Maslany like proposed that line to the directors because they knew how big of a fan she was in real life. She's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Can-
Yeah.
this would be fucking hilarious if I said this. Let's do it."
Yeah. Also, Megan, you're beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving on. Let's get into sponsor.
With
number
that
one.
being said,
With that being said, oh, is it sponsor number 1 or sponsor number 2? Jesus Christ, where are
2.
we? Sponsor number 2. You already did sponsor number 1?
Yeah.
Or did we skip sponsor number?
no,
1?
we did that before we did She-Hulk.
My brain is gone. Anyways, sponsor. Let's get into sponsor number. You can cut all that
Nope.
or keep it. I don't care. Mm. Sponsor number two. Sponsor number two is Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. It is so fucking good. Listen
Mhm.
up. We'll tell you more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. All right, you nerds. Game of Thrones spin-off. House of the Dragon. Wiener, wiener,
Wiener,
wiener.
wiener, wiener, wiener. One wiener next to another long wiener, wiener, wiener.
Uh, I might have to try and save that video and post it to our Instagram just so everyone can actually see how that is relevant to this week's episode. First off, spoiler alert. If you haven't watched this, go watch it. If you haven't watched any Game of Thrones, you're wrong. But you really
If you
don't
don't-
have to enjoy this show. So you
If
can
you don't
still go
chew
back.
Big Red,
Then fuck you. Prune candy.
I know that a lot of us have been left with a bad taste in our mouth from the end of Game of Thrones. And a lot of people are reluctant to watch this show because of that. Much better, by the way, the lighting.
Yeah, I changed the
Uh,
my LEDs.
But I promise you, and this I swear,
And I swear.
it's so good. This is the third episode, and it was the best episode so far. They've all been good, but holy shit, the show is good.
It's getting
Yeah.
bigger and better every single week. And yes, title of my sex tape.
It's getting bigger.
And
Anyways,
better. So this episode picks up 2 to 3 years since the end of the last episode.
I think they say 3 years because technically the baby is 2 years old.
Yeah, it's turning 2.
And then there's the 9 months. Yeah, yeah. So I think it's 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh, excuse me. Fuck. Sorry. I'm not. But so the king Viserys has remarried Alicent Hightower,
His
Rhaenyra's
daughter's best
friend.
slash
Super fucked
baby
up.
lover.
Maybe. I don't know.
Now it's hard to tell.
Now it's very hard to tell.
They made it seem that way in the first episode, for sure.
Yeah.
I was confident. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now it's
Nothing
like,
wrong with it. I was just like, they
Was I
they
wrong?
were hinting very heavily that was their dynamic,
Yeah.
but it never went further than just like, are they or aren't they?
Yeah.
But, so she birthed a boy for their first child together, Aegon II, named after the very first Targaryen king, Aegon the First, the Conqueror, or the Destroyer. I don't remember, one of them. And she's pregnant with a second child, like very pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
But it is Aegon II's name day celebration, so they're doing a hunt,
Mm-hmm.
a royal hunt, which
Halloween hunt.
it's just a party in the woods where the hunters do most of the work, but they just kind of trap the animal and let the king take all the credit.
Yeah.
It's not hunting. It's
Yeah.
just slaughter.
Literally, like, I was like, that's cheating. Well, like, when we watched it, I was like, that's cheating. It was brutal, and it was yeah, whatever. I'm a vegan, so it was a
Yeah.
sad scene for me, but
I will. The dragons look great in this. The
hmm.
stag that they hunted and killed, very CGI,
Oh
obviously,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
it like didn't look as convincing as the dragons are.
yeah.
And like stags are real animals. So was that on purpose? I kind of hope it was. But we still see Rhaenyra being a badass. She's a defiant little shit, but
Mm,
in a very good way.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
She she is awesome. I again, like we said earlier, she is at least unless they kill her off in a surprising red wedding kind of way, she is the Jon Snow of the show that I can, as far as I can tell. She's the lead,
Yeah.
and she is a badass. It's awesome.
Oh, um, you don't remember a certain line from Game of Thrones. That's fine. That's good. That's good.
Enlighten us.
When so Rhaenyra is going to die at some point in time by
Mm,
murder.
nice.
Yeah, she uh, in Game of Thrones, Joffrey is walking around. Tyrell.
Shooting hookers with crossbows.
Yeah, well that too. Oh my God, Natalie Dormer's character.
Mm,
What's her name?
yeah,
She's Tyrell,
yeah.
from House Tyrell. Is walking around with her and like points through a grate that shows into the dungeons in the Dragon Keep, and is like, Rhaenyra Targaryen was murdered down there by her dragons, uh, for disobeying the king.
Mm,
So it's gonna get there. It's gonna get there at some point in time. I don't
yeah.
think it's
That'll
not.
probably be like
It's
the show end,
not
I
her
assume.
father. It could even be the season finale because even though there's going to be more seasons of this show, uh, the showrunners have said that because it's all about House Targaryen, that they can kind of like season to season they can jump like timelines.
Mm.
So
Speaking of
season two,
season two, there are heavy rumors that both Henry Cavill and Elizabeth Olsen are being eyed for season two. That means we get Geralt,
of
uh,
Riviere,
the Witcher, in the show crossover,
yeah,
and then we also get a witch,
a
the
Scarlet
Scarlet
Witch, if you
Witch,
will.
as another
Do you know
crossover.
how like campy, but I would love it is if they bring her in as a red woman, as one of the
Oh,
red
oh
women.
yeah, yeah, the red lady.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, it's like two, like double, you know?
Now we need seven double O's. The
All
name's
right,
Targaryen.
we
Geralt of
lost you
Riviere
guys.
Targaryen.
It would be, it won't be that, but
No,
they are eyeing those characters to join season two.
and I'd love to see
Uh,
him there.
yeah, that'd be amazing. I love Henry Cavill. I love Elizabeth Olsen.
Mm.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
join the party.
exactly. And then, so during the hunt, or before the hunt actually starts, Rhaenyra just is kind of like, fuck this, because basically one of the Lannisters, Jason Lannister, approaches her and like starts trying to flirt, and then tells her that he might not have dragons, but he has enough money to build a pit for him. And she's like, "Why would you do that if you don't have dragons?" He's like, "Well, for my wife's dragon." And she's like, "The fuck?" And just like
Yeah.
storms off, yells at her dad, and then storms off again, and just rides off into the woods, where Sir Christian, the knight from the first two episodes, the one of the King's guards,
That won the joust or whatever, and she picked him as
yep,
her Kingsguard. Yeah.
uh, chases after her into the woods.
Hmm.
And I bet you can guess what happens next.
Oh.
They just kind of like hang out and talk, and
Yeah, that actually doesn't happen.
yeah,
I
no.
really, I really thought it was going to.
So did I. I was like, I've seen this porno before, uh, but
The
it
part
doesn't
with
happen.
the boar,
What happens in Tijuana stays in Tijuana, Jake.
Borno.
Porno. No, but a boar does attack them,
Oh.
and well,
He,
Sir Christian gets knocked down, and then when he gets up because the boar is attacking her, stabs it, and then she just psycho,
yeah.
just
And then she was like, "I killed it." No, I'm just kidding. She didn't do that.
yeah.
I did think it was kind of funny because in Game of Thrones, that's how
King Baratheon,
yeah dies. He
Robert
gets
Baratheon,
gored by a boar during a hunt. So I
yeah,
thought that was kind of cool. Probably wasn't trying to be related to anything, but I thought it was cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
But another thing from there that was pretty awesome was then they took the boar back to the camp,
Mm-hmm.
and like the king had gone off and done his hunt, and by that I mean other people trapped the stag and then he stabbed it
Twice
twice
because he
because
missed the
he
first
yeah
time.
missed the first time, and she comes strolling in after them with a boar like tied to the back of her horse, and it's just like covered in blood, like she
Yeah.
actually like
I think that was the significant part. It was that she was covered in blood and they could tell that she was the one who actually killed it. It
yeah,
wasn't just like a
it wasn't like a
stage.
trap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was cool.
it was really cool. It
Yeah.
just further solidifying that she is this badass that was born for the throne.
There is a cool part, which what maybe it's not that cool, but I thought it was cool, where she basically calls her dad out and is like, "Hey, you now, what do you need me for? You have a son, uh, heir to your throne, blah blah blah. Like you can just marry me off, get whatever you want for me. Like I'll just go fuck myself, you know?"
Mahalo.
And, and he basically is like, "No," he's like, "I'm not gonna do that. I promise on your mother's memory, you are the heir to my throne." I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
So.
it is really cool because it also like solidifies their bond,
Mhm.
even though there's been so much contention between them over the past few years, with him obviously marrying her best friend, and then
I assume that'll continue. I don't think it's going to get any better.
no, not especially not between her and Allison, but I think that her relationship with her dad will kind of like teeter on that line of
Hmm.
"fuck you, I love you, fuck you, I
Hmm.
love you."
Hmm. Yeah.
So we do
Something
see
we
that
kind of,
he's missing fingers.
I was going to say, we kind of skipped over the fact that he is missing some fingers.
Yeah. Did you catch the mistake in the episode?
Was it me?
No, no, it wasn't as bad as
Did somebody say
Amelia.
steak?
It wasn't as bad as Amelia Clark's Starbucks cup, but there is a scene where he's not wearing gloves and he reaches
Oh, you could
for
see
the
his hand.
letter from or hands the letter to the people that are going to bring it to Damon and the sea snakes,
Hmm.
like Lord Corliss. And you see his fingers are just wrapped in green electrical tape so that they could be edited out, and they just forgot to do it.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. But he is missing fingers because, as we talked about last week, his finger back then, it was just his pinky was very decrepit, infected,
Hmm.
was not getting better
Because
because
he is not fit for the throne.
yeah, and because he cut it on the throne in episode 1, literally just like a
Which
finger prick.
which is the point of it is that so I actually don't know this. My cousin Marty told me this because he like reads the books and stuff. But I mean you can kind of guess it a little bit, but the throne in the books is purposefully uh designed that way, and it's designed with the swords of fallen enemies, and they purposely design it so that parts of the it's made to be very uncomfortable. parts of the swords are sticking out. And if
and still
you,
sharp.
yeah, and if you can't sit on that throne, you are not worthy. You're not a worthy king to sit on that throne. And as we've seen in the first episode, he has an open sore on his back from sitting on the throne. He cuts his hand on the throne, lost some fingers from it, showing that he is a shitty king and
Yeah,
he's not worthy of.
because the throne is meant for a king that can lead his people through war,
Hmm.
and he's never had to know war. He
Yeah.
came to the throne in a time of peace. So, I mean, it makes a lot of
Mm.
sense. I didn't know that. I just thought it was because the throne was still newer.
Mm.
Because by the time we get to Game of Thrones, like it has gone through so many kings and rulers that it's kind of like worn itself down to where
Well,
Joffrey sits on it.
we'll have Marty on here eventually.
Yeah,
He's pretty nerdy
he's a
and
big old nerd.
yeah, yeah. He'll give you your run for your money on Star Wars, I promise.
Well, then when Andor comes out, we should have him on for that, or
Yeah.
or Mandalorian. Well, Andor comes out first, but
Well.
maybe a few times. The best part of this episode, though, mm,
The crab people.
the crab people. Oh, before we get there, we should mention that Rhaenyra is urged and told by King Viserys that she has to remarry
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah.
of duty and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But he gives
Yeah.
her the choice to
Duty.
select her match instead of
Well,
being married off.
at first, earlier in the episode, he's like, "You have to," blah blah blah. But then after her twatty best friend, who is now his wife, is like, maybe she
Make her
should.
think
Yeah.
like it's her idea.
Make it, yeah, exactly. Which was her. We gotta mention her dad, played by
Littlefinger?
Reese Ifans.
Oh no,
He's definitely the new Littlefinger.
he is the new Littlefinger.
Yeah, he's pulling all the strings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just to
he's putting ideas in his daughter's head, who is now married to the king, and then she
and that's
puts
how she
those
got married to the
ideas.
king because he put ideas in her head.
Yeah, and
It was
there's even a point in this episode where he suggests that the king marry off his 2-year-old son for
yeah
like a, what do you call it, like a war, or what do you
for like an
tell me how to
alliance.
alliance? Yeah, and
Yeah,
the king's like,
to
he's
strengthen the
two.
house. Yeah,
He just turned 2. Who do you mean? Yeah,
yeah,
it's like, you married a 12-year-old. What are you talking about? Don't act above this. Or he was gonna marry a
yeah.
12-year-old.
They wanted him to
He
marry a 12.
settled for a 14-year-old. Whatever.
15. Thank you. I'm just kidding.
Oh God, way better.
She actually was 15 though. Potentially 16 because 15. Whatever. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter. It's still
there's a
gross.
leap year, carry the 2. Yeah.
Still gross. Not any
Yes.
better.
No.
Just
But
married a slightly less child.
but yeah, this guy is he's gonna be a problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But also, we know from Game of Thrones that the Hightower family aren't big players anymore,
Mm-mm.
if at all.
Mm.
So, I'm ready to see Otto die.
we got we gotta wrap it up here a little.
Oh yeah, we'll talk
in
about
the
the crab
next, like,
people and the best parts.
well, the best part of the episode for sure is King
Viserys,
Vesuvius,
Victor.
Anubis. He basically is like, hey, I'm gonna help because this has been 3 years now. From the last episode to this episode has been 3 years, which means that uh his brother
Damon.
has been Damon has been fighting this war against the crab feeders for 3 years now and not gained any
Like
whatever.
ground. It's
Yeah,
still
they're not winning.
they're
It's
not any
ongoing.
closer to winning. Yeah.
His own army is starting to lose faith in him, and it isn't until his brother, King Viserys, sends him a letter saying, "Hey, I'm sending this many ships and this many people to aid you in this fight against the crab feeder," and he doesn't like that. He actually beats the shit out of the messenger,
with
to the
his
point
helmet.
where his own people had to pull him off of him, and then he surrenders. I finger quoted, air quoted,
Yeah,
for
watch
those
this on
of you who
YouTube
don't
so that
watch
you can
us.
see it.
uh, and then once they get close to him, he pulls out his sword or knife.
Yeah,
Knife.
because he like hands them his sword, showing that he's
Yeah.
surrendering, and
Mm-hmm.
then pulls out. I think it's the same Valyrian dagger that
Yeah.
Arya eventually comes into possession of.
Mm. And he fucking takes names for a little while. I mean,
This
he puts up a fight.
he was there to either win the war in this battle or die. And you see him running like if through the sand. He trips a few times, but as he's tripping, he's still swinging his sword, cutting people down, rolling over their bodies, getting up, and continuing. Like this dude is on a fucking rampage. Just
Just because he doesn't want his brother's help in winning this war.
yeah,
He wants to do it himself.
well, yeah, because if his brother shows up and then they win, his brother gets the credit,
Yeah.
and his entire purpose of creating this alliance with the Sea Snakes, the House of Valyria, the
Hmm.
Valyrians, is to show that he is a worthy leader.
Hmm. Oh,
And
dude, there's such a. I sorry, I have to mention this part. It's so fucking funny. I don't know. It's not at that part, but just the part where they like nail the guy to
oh yeah,
the post, and they're like gonna feed him to the crabs, and the crabs they put crabs on him to eat him up or whatever, and he's like blah blah blah, fuck you guys, and then you see he comes in on his dragon, and he's like, that's my prince. He's like, that's my king, blah blah. He's like, save me, king. And
and the
the
dragon
dragon
just
just like
steps
stomps
on
on
him.
him and kills him. It's
That was
so
that was at towards the
funny.
beginning of the episode because it's just
Yeah.
showing that
That was like
the
showing the war. Yeah,
yeah.
because then they like start shooting the shit out of his dragon, and he flees.
Well,
Uh,
and also you see that the crab people, anytime that they get attacked, they retreat
into the caves.
into the
Yeah.
caves because then they have
Hmm.
the advantage.
Hmm.
But now
And
that
hence the surrendering. He drew them all out
yeah,
by saying he was surrendering. He waved a white flag and everything, and they all came out of the cave.
technically that's a war crime, but
I don't think that there were rules to engagement until like later.
yeah.
And also, this is a not real thing.
No, I
There's
know.
no
I was just joking.
But yeah.
Yeah. So he's running across the beach, just cutting fuckers down. There's archers are shooting at him. Somehow he's evaded like all the arrows for a good majority of this. He takes 2 arrows.
He takes two tips at the
Yeah.
same time. Uh,
One in the pink. I'm just kidding. Why are you walking funny? I got shot in the ass, Susan. If you guys haven't seen The Gray Man, it's up to you if you actually want to watch
anyways.
it. It's funny, but yeah.
Yeah, he gets hit twice, once in the chest and once in the leg.
Yeah.
And when all hope is lost,
The rest of the army shows up. They storm the beach. And then also there's someone else riding a different dragon. And what's cool is it is Lord Corlys's son,
Mhm.
who is the brother of the little girl that the king was supposed urged to marry.
Blondie Dread for any
Yeah,
of you
if
who
you
are
remember last
curious.
week or the last 2 weeks. But so he is now a dragon rider, which is cool because they even mentioned last week that the House of Valyria were not dragon riders,
Mhm.
but his mom, the kid that we see riding the dragon, is the king's sister.
Yeah, she's Targaryen.
Yeah, so he is part Targaryen, so he is deemed
Which is
worthy
kind of a
to.
cool Easter egg for Jon Snow.
Yeah,
Like the bloodline is, you know.
Also, the
Anyways, we
fact that
don't.
he rode a dragon, and then it took like another season before people were like, "Hey, he's a Targaryen." It's like cool. So you're just all idiots. Awesome. No, but so his dragon looks much more like the dragons that we saw in Game of
Hmm.
Thrones. They're not as
Hmm.
like snake-like. They're a little bit like beefy, chonky boys.
Chunky.
I'm glad you caught that. But so he's providing air support, taking out all of the archers.
Mm.
The battle is waging on the beach, and we see the Crab King kind of like slowly retreat into the caves, and Damon just goes after him.
They should have shown a battle between the two of them.
I
That's
would have
just the
loved to see
fucking
it.
annoying action junkie in me, you
Yeah,
know? But
same. I would have loved to see it.
instead,
Instead, we see a covered in blood Damon come walking out of the caves, dragging something. And at first, it's like, oh, he's dragging the dude by the foot.
yeah,
And then you realize that it's like a third of the body. It's just his head from his shoulder down to his waist.
he cut him in
And
half.
he left more than half behind.
Yeah. His like innards are like hanging out and shit is brutal. It would That's what would have been in a true Game of Thrones fashion. That fight scene between the two of them would have been amazing. I
Yeah.
would have loved to see that.
Because Damon is just covered in blood. So, like,
Yeah.
obviously, it was not just a one swing
Hmm.
murder. Like, it was a fight.
Yeah.
So, I would have loved to have seen that too. But,
Yeah.
and that's basically where the episode ends, right?
You get what you pay for, which is about $5.99 a
About Tree
month.
Fitty. HBO
It's
Max
a
is
really
like
good
$10
show.
a month, I think.
It's a really good show. Go check it out if you
It's
haven't.
fantastic. Any last words on House of
I
the
do
Dragon?
actually have. Oh, no, not about that. We're going to close out this episode, but before we do, I want to mention a couple nerd things. One of them being that Blade with Mashallah Ali starts filming, I think next week or next month, one of the two. And the other thing being that Werewolf by Night comes out in October. That is a Marvel thing. It'll be a Disney Plus series. Keep an eye out for that. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah. The pat sense of Werewolf by Night was Warren Bark by day. Um, that's going to be part 2. Sorry, that was super dumb. I'm so sorry. Also, check us out on all of our social medias. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. And if you find us annoying, share it with all the people that you also find annoying. No publicity is bad publicity, right, baby? Also, if you like what we do, you want to support us, we have our Patreon page. It's a great way to support us on a monthly basis. You get some behind-the-scenes facts. Sorry, I'm rushing through this. We have to get to some fantasy football.
I tried to avoid saying what it was earlier.
Too
I was
late.
like, we have something else nerdy that we have to do. But
Our draft is
yes,
in
that
13 minutes. So if you want to give us some of your money, that'd be fantastic. If you want to do it monthly, you can do it through Patreon. It's patreon.com/allthingsnerdpod. You
Give me
get
the booze.
you get some behind the scenes as well as some exclusive merch. Also, if you don't want to do that, but you still want to support us, again, sharing this, giving us 5-star ratings, thumbs up, things like that on wherever you listen to the podcast. Or we also have our web store. That's a great way to show support as well as give a little bit, but it's just kind of a one-time thing.
And you get some cool shit.
And you get all kinds of cool shit. I've been brainstorming some ideas for some new shit that will come out for the fall time, because who doesn't love chilly boy weather? I already said chonky boy, so I thought I'd go with it again. Anyways, we love you all. Thank you for being here. It's been 79 episodes, many more weeks than that. And this has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.